Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro Podcast Special Edition. We are talking with our friends at OnCall Cyber about some really cool stuff. And today we wanted to give Brian a chance to talk about even more. Brian, why don't you introduce yourself to our network?
I'm Brian Meegan. I'm an attorney. I do corporate transactional work. I own a back office services company that provides back-end support for about 50 law firms around the country. And I'm a partner in OCC, OnCall Cyber. Started that with Doug DePep and my other partners there a number of years ago.
Wonderful. So let's kick it right off. Talk to me about some primary ways in which OnCall Cyber kind of stands apart in our space today.
OnCall Cyber is a little different product than anything else out there. I think it is law-led, which means that from the beginning it's been engineered to be covered by the attorney-client privilege, which has the advantage, obviously, of a confidentiality between the subscriber and the attorney. That can become a complicating factor when you don't start with the lawyer. It is something that is different again insofar as a lot of companies provide a large retained monitoring service. It's fairly expensive. It's very comprehensive, but it may more than a lot of small to mid-sized businesses can handle. Ours is designed to be more or less that AAA. It is a limited response, but it is a prepaid response. We're trying to give you just enough to get your feet underneath you in the event of a cyber incident, some legal help, some technological support, and then we have a cyber insurability where we're looking at your insurance and trying to help partner you to place that service and to make sure that you're the best looking applicant for insurance companies. I would say also, the way we approach things is a little bit different. Our value drivers are kind of split into three sections. I mean, you've got we try and help our clients and our subscribers prevent on the front end. We try to help them mitigate or minimize the impact or consequences of a breach should that happen. And then finally, to transfer some of the risk of a breach off into the insurance realm.
So talking about kind of those factors and talking about cyber insurability, how does OnCall Cyber assist with that?
Well, first of all, what that means, again, is sort of how insurable are you? As an applicant, how do you look to the insurance company? Are you doing some of the basic things to make you an attractive applicant? Because obviously insurance companies don't want to have to pay out claims. So they're looking for people that are willing to pay the premium, but are doing the things that make sense, the good cyber hygiene steps in order to minimize the fact that there's actually going to be a claim. And then if something happens, they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, and it does result with, then of course, that's what insurance is for. So we're helping try to get those applicants into the space where they are doing all the things they're supposed to be doing in order to increase their chance of getting cyber liability coverage. The headlines are filled today with, stories of cyber attacks. Insurance companies are running away, many of them running away from this type of coverage because the claims are so expensive. They're really having a hard time quantifying how much do we charge in premium because there's so many claims. And now what we're seeing is an increase in cost and a cutting of people that used to get insurance, and now they're like, hey, we're out. You're not going to get covered. Maybe because you're not doing certain things, maybe because you have a claim, but it has become increasingly difficult to get that kind of coverage.
So Brian, why is cyber liability coverage such a hot topic today?
Well, we are in October. We're in cyber month, but in this month, we've also heard about a lot of attacks that have happened. I mean, we've got MGM, $100 million cyber liability associated with the breach that they experienced. Clorox, 20 to 25 million. That's going to happen over the next year, as they estimate. They just did that in their shareholder update. Caesars paid 15 million in ransom. Dole Foods. These aren't companies that you think about that have big cyber, liability exposure, but these are companies. Dole Foods at $10.5 million hit to their bottom line as a real result of cyber liability attacks. And the small firms are getting crushed with this too, but those don't make the headlines. And yet you've got these companies out there, the higher the reputational risk that they have, such as, say, professional services firms, the more consequences those types of firms are going to experience, because clients, they're betting on the fact that they are reliable, that they are that trusted resource for their clients. And when that confidence is shaken because their data gets, taken and stolen and used, or they suffer some sort of a breach that they have to now report out to their clientele, that's a major hit, for small and mid-sized businesses.
Ryan, talk to me a little bit about how OnCall Cyber can help minimize risks, put more preparedness towards a proactive cybersecurity posture for your potential customers.
Yeah. It's like I said before, it's kind of a three-pronged approach. So you've got your breach prevention, and then you've got your breach mitigation or minimization of consequences. So prevention, are you using double authentication? Are you using antivirus monitoring? You're using the free stuff? Are you paying for something? I mean, that does make a difference. You do get what you pay for the most part. Do you have a firewall? Using firewall protection? What kind of exposure do you have to external logins? How many devices are you exposing to your critical and confidential information through telephones that people? Is it just the company phone? Is it the personal phone? Like, all of these things kind of build a quote unquote risk profile. And we help our clients, once they've, like I said, gone through the basics, we help them then for those that are in a higher risk profile, because maybe they have multiple offices, because they have some remote workers. We're doing a deeper dive into their particular policies and procedures to try to help them use the right processes to prevent the breach. And then if there is a breach, what are we doing to immediately address that breach and shut it down, or keep that information siloed enough, just through policies, to minimize the impact that it might have.
Ryan, this was super insightful.
Yeah, no, I'd say absolutely. Let me add one other piece, and
yeah, for sure,
mentioned this before. OCC has partnered with a cyber insurance agency that is, international coverage. And once we've gotten those applicants to the part where, to the point where they are as attractive as they can be to the insurance company, we will help them, introduce them over, get them to a person that can place that insurance and review the insurance policies and figure out the right policy for them.
Ryan, thank you so much. This was super insightful. The links for where they can go and check on OnCall Cyber will be all over the place, right? Down in the postings and things. Brian, thank you for being on the Cyber Pro podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks